my gosh, Andrew! You were just a little boy with a runny nose not too long ago. And now look at you, all grown up and bringing home such a lovely woman. It's hard to believe my little boy has grown this much. Mom, isn't Rachel beautiful? I told you she's amazing, didn't I? Oh, she sure is. You can't stop smiling, can you? That grin is practically reaching your ears. You must be really happy. Of course I'm happy. I mean, I chased after her for so long. You have no idea. Andrew, you can't just say something like that in front of your mom. Oh, exactly. You really are something, Andrew. How can you be so bold telling your own mother that all you did was run around chasing after girls? Oh, good grief. Well, I mean, it's true though. Well, let me tell you, you're one lucky lady. Not every man in this world is so head over heels for his wife like your husband. I have to admit, it's kind of sweet to see. I'm not saying this just because he's my son, but Andrew's really got it all, you know. He's smart, talented, and he's got a good head on his shoulders. There's not much he can't do. Yes, he's hardworking, responsible, and so caring. And on top of all that, Rachel, you hit the jackpot with your in-laws, too. I mean, I'm not your typical mother-in-law, am I? You'll never find another like me. Mom, seriously? Do people even brag about that? Oh, this is embarrassing. Oh, hush now. What's wrong with me saying that? Your father is still working and in great shape, isn't he? We've got a comfortable life and we've done well for ourselves. Plus, we don't do any of that old-fashioned stuff like Thanksgiving dinners where you have to cook for an army or preparing meals for days just to host family events. I've never been about all that. Wait, you don't do Thanksgiving or big holiday meals? Nope, never liked all that fuss. It's too much work. I convinced your father that we're better off without all the stress. Hosting those huge family gatherings is exhausting. I mean, what's the point in slaving away in the kitchen for hours, spending tons of money, when you can just order something nice? And as for those formal dinners, who needs them? I've never made a big deal out of stuff like that, and I don't plan on starting now. Trust me, Rachel, you really lucked out marrying into a family like ours. Wow, I guess I really did luck out. Hey, babe. Thanks for being so awesome today. I swear my mom can really talk, huh? My ears are still ringing. I think I'll be hearing her voice for the next week at least. Well, you did just bring home her future daughter-in-law. I think she was just excited. My mom was the same way when you came over for the first time. Yeah, but your mom wasn't anywhere near that level. She was more graceful, you know? She smiled shyly like she was all flustered and spoke so softly. And she had that amazing dinner spread ready for us, too. Everything was perfect. She made that amazing roast chicken and those mashed potatoes with gravy. And don't even get me started on the apple pie she baked. And while we were eating, she kept complimenting me on how much I was enjoying the meal. She made me feel like royalty. My mom, on the other hand, we just went to that barbecue place. And when I asked for dessert, she hurried us home and threw some grocery store fruit on the table. I mean, seriously, I was so embarrassed. Couldn't she have at least picked up some cake? Well, my mom's a chef, remember? She's always been good at throwing together a meal that looks like it came straight out of a restaurant. But I'm okay with not having fancy food every time. You know, not all women love to cook, and that's totally fine. Some people just find cooking to be a lot of work. Yeah, I know. But with my mom, it's a whole different story. What do you mean? My mom is... well, she's a disaster in the kitchen. She's got what you'd call the touch of doom when it comes to cooking. Come on, you're exaggerating. She's been running the house for over 30 years. She can't be that bad. No, I swear it. It's that bad. Honestly, I'm just glad you didn't get to experience it firsthand today. If my mom had decided to cook, I would have done everything in my power to stop her. Wait, seriously? Is it really that bad? Yeah, it is. I remember when my grandma was still alive. Mom made her a birthday soup once, and it was a disaster. My grandma was furious. She even accused Mom of trying to poison her. No way. It was probably just a mistake. Maybe she didn't taste it right or something? Nope, it wasn't a mistake. It was her cooking. The seaweed in the soup was barely soaked, so it was tough and stringy. The broth was murky, and there were bits of raw beef floating around in it. Trust me, you've never seen anything like it. Wow, I had no idea it was that bad. Oh, you've got no idea. My dad would refuse to come home if she was cooking. He'd rather eat out every single time. And if he did come home, he'd always have an excuse to avoid dinner. I used to get an allowance from him so I could buy food outside the house. Our family rule was simple. If Mom cooked, you didn't eat. I guess that explains a lot. I didn't know it was this intense. So, when she says she doesn't do big family meals or holiday cooking, it's not because she doesn't want to. It's because she can't. If she tried to make Thanksgiving dinner for the family, it'd be a disaster. My dad won't even let her near the kitchen for anything big like that. That's why there's no big holiday spread. And as for things like traditional Sunday dinners or Christmas meals, it's all for the same reason. Nobody wants to see what would happen if she tried to pull that off. Eventually, we just stopped doing them altogether. So, it's not that she doesn't believe in them. She just doesn't know how to do them? Exactly. That's why I was laughing so hard earlier. When she was going on and on about how easygoing our family is and how she doesn't bother with traditional holiday meals. She's just covering up for the fact that she can't cook to save her life. And trust me, everyone in the family knows it. They just go along with it to keep the peace. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Here I was thinking she was some kind of modern minimalist genius who avoids all that stress on purpose. I feel like I've just uncovered a huge family secret. Yeah, well, now you're in on it. But don't worry, it's kind of a running joke at this point. Just, if she ever offers to make something special for you, politely decline. I'm saving you from a nightmare. Trust me. Duly noted. And hey, it's okay. I didn't marry you for your family's cooking skills after all. As long as we can find a good takeout spot for Thanksgiving, I'm happy. Oh, thank God. I thought you might be disappointed or expecting more of a traditional thing. But nope, we've been a takeout for holidays family for as long as I can remember. Honestly, I think that sounds perfect. Stress-free, no burnt turkeys or failed pies. We can make our own little traditions, right? And as long as we're together, I don't care what we eat. So it turns out that my mother-in-law's cooking skills are so notoriously bad that even her own son can't help but comment on it. I had no idea just how dreadful it was. After Andrew and I got married, I never had the chance to sample any of her home-cooked meals. In fact, the situation was such that the entire family was adamantly opposed to her ever cooking for us. My father-in-law was so wary of the possibility that he went out of his way to prevent her from even stepping into the kitchen. On the other hand, I've always had a deep passion for cooking. I've been fortunate enough to learn from my own mother, who owns and operates a very successful fine dining restaurant. Growing up, I was immersed in the culinary world from an early age. My mom's restaurant isn't just any restaurant. It's a large establishment with a diverse menu, where she would prepare everything from elegant appetizers to elaborate entrees. Growing up, I was deeply immersed in the world of cooking. My mother's restaurant meant that from a young age, I was involved in everything from handling sharp kitchen knives safely to mastering fundamental cooking techniques and understanding how to prepare and select seasonal ingredients. My mother's restaurant was a hub of activity, especially during the holiday season. Every year, she would prepare huge quantities of food, including massive batches of homemade pickles and preserves, which were a hit with our customers. This kind of large-scale food preparation became a normal part of my life. So the idea of handling traditional family meals or cooking in large quantities was something I was completely accustomed to. To be honest, if my in-laws had any traditions similar to Thanksgiving dinners or large-scale holiday feasts, I wouldn't have had any problem with it. I was already well adapted to managing and preparing large quantities of food, thanks to my upbringing in a bustling restaurant environment. My mom's place was renowned not only for its quality, but also for its impressive volume, which made me comfortable with the whole process of cooking and serving meals to many people. So, while Andrew's family might avoid these traditional practices or large meal preparations, I was more than equipped to handle it. It's simply part of who I am and how I was raised. In a way, it's comforting to know that I have these cooking skills to fall back on, especially considering the situation with my mother-in-law's culinary attempts. Or rather, the lack thereof. It's also important to note that I'm used to managing the challenges that come with preparing large meals for many people. The idea of dealing with extensive food preparations or traditional family gatherings is something I'm not only familiar with, but also quite adept at handling. So while my in-laws might have their quirks and preferences, my background in cooking and my experience with managing large-scale food operations provide me with a solid foundation. I'm confident that I can handle any food-related situation with ease, whether it's a traditional family meal or just a big dinner party.
Wow, I'm genuinely amazed. Did you really prepare all of this by yourself? Are you absolutely sure you didn't bring any of it from your parents' house? I mean, this is an incredible spread of food, and it looks absolutely fantastic.
Yes, I prepared every bit of this on my own. My parents usually handle their big holiday meal preparations at their restaurant. They cook up an extensive menu for their regular customers, especially around Thanksgiving and Christmas. But since I wasn't able to be there with them on that specific day, I decided to take on the challenge myself.
Even so, I'm thoroughly impressed. I can't believe you managed to cook all of this by yourself. It must have taken an extraordinary amount of time, effort, and skill.
Is it really that much? I only made a few classic American dishes. A whole roasted turkey with herbs and butter, a rich and savory stuffing with sausage and celery, and a variety of vegetable side dishes like roasted Brussels sprouts and creamy mashed potatoes. I decided to leave out the cranberry sauce because my mom promised she'd bring some over later, so I thought I'd save time by not making it myself.
Even just with those dishes, it seems like a lot of food. I'm genuinely amazed that you managed to prepare all of this on your own.
I only made enough to serve us for a simple meal. Nothing too extravagant. I just wanted to make sure we had a nice home-cooked dinner.
You've really outdone yourself. Is there anything I can do to assist you with?
Actually, yes. Could you help me organize and store the leftovers in the fridge? Placing the stuffing in the top container and the roasted turkey in the middle section. The vegetable dishes, like the roasted Brussels sprouts and mashed potatoes, should go in the bottom drawer of the fridge.
Roasted turkey, too. I've never had homemade turkey that's been prepared from scratch like this before. I'm really looking forward to trying it out.
The recipe is from my mom, so you can trust it's really good. I also made a big batch of rich gravy, so let's finish up cleaning the kitchen and then we can sit down to enjoy our meal together.
I honestly feel like I made the best decision by marrying you. Your cooking skills are absolutely incredible and have far exceeded my expectations. That was genuinely amazing. The turkey was cooked to absolute perfection. Juicy, tender, and seasoned just right. And the side dishes? They were exceptional. Everything was so fresh and packed with flavor. I'm thrilled I enjoyed it. I ended up having 3 full plates of food because it was just that delicious.
Seriously? Is my new daughter-in-law truly this skilled in the kitchen? She managed to prepare all of this from scratch all by herself.
Absolutely. The meal was nothing short of outstanding. I've never tasted turkey that was juicy like this before today. It really made me appreciate what a well-prepared holiday meal should taste like.
Oh, really?
The vegetable sides, like the green beans with almonds and the honey-glazed carrots, will likely taste even better after they've had a few days to meld together. I'm eagerly looking forward to that. It seems like excellent cooking skills must be a family trait. Her mom's cooking was good, but my wife's cooking takes it to a whole new level. I'm genuinely looking forward to coming home each day just to enjoy the meal she prepares.
You used to complain about your mom's cooking and would always end up eating out for dinner, remember? But now you ensure that you have every meal at home, and you never miss one.
Well, your cooking has a bit of a reputation. You're known for your destructive touch in the kitchen, where things don't always turn out quite right. Didn't you hear about the nickname you've earned? How can you compare the destructive touch with the divine touch of perfectly prepared meals? Oh, come on! Oh, and recently my wife even makes breakfast for me. She whips up a simple but delicious breakfast with scrambled eggs, crispy bacon, buttered toast, and a few fresh fruit sides like juicy strawberries and ripe bananas before I head out for the day. It's incredibly tasty. I must be exceptionally lucky to have such a wonderful partner. Who else in the world has a wife who makes breakfast every single day and does it so well? Most people would just grab a bagel or something quick from a cafe or drive-thru, but having a home-cooked breakfast is a real treat. Yeah, I used to make breakfast every day too, back in the day. So, did Dad actually eat it every day? No. He would often get frustrated and leave for work without eating. He'd complain about not wanting to waste good food and would say it was a waste of ingredients. That sounds about right. I guess my dad must have been quite the character. I wish he had found a wife who cooks as well as my wife does. What did you just say? Rachel, guess who's here? We just got to your place. Oh, well, hi, everyone. What a surprise. You didn't give me any warning you were coming. Mom, Dad, what a lovely surprise. What brings you here unexpectedly? I wasn't aware you planned to visit today. Oh, you know how it is. Robert and I have been hearing so much about your amazing culinary skills from Andrew. He's been raving about your cooking non-stop. We just had to come by and see for ourselves what all the fuss is about. I also heard that you recently prepared a huge family-style meal, and we're really excited to try the dishes you've been bragging about. We hope it's not too much trouble for you. Oh, this is such a nice surprise, but honestly, I wasn't prepared for a visit. Mom, Dad, what a delightful surprise. I didn't think you'd be here today. Didn't you say you had other plans for the afternoon? Yes, but our earlier engagement wrapped up sooner than we expected. So, since we were already in the vicinity, we thought it would be a great opportunity to swing by and share a meal with you. Oh, you shouldn't have gone out of your way like this. I feel like Rachel might be feeling a bit stressed by this surprise visit. How is she supposed to prepare a proper meal with no prior notice? Why should that be an issue? You always brag about how wonderful your wife's cooking is. Oh, come on now. Honey, don't worry about it. I might not have prepared a huge feast, but I've got a few extra side dishes and plenty of rice, so there should be more than enough for everyone. Dad, do you enjoy pickles? I've got some homemade pickles I can serve if you're interested. Oh, that sounds wonderful. I'd love to try them. The rice will be ready shortly, so please make yourselves comfortable while you wait. You should also eat something soon, dear. Are you sure this is okay? I feel like it's quite a lot to handle on such a random visit. Wow, this salad is fantastic. It's so refreshing and crisp, and the radishes are incredibly crunchy and flavorful. Yes, Dad. I made sure to use the freshest radishes I could find. My mom sent over the best one she could pick out, which really enhances the taste of the pickles. Let me take a look at this dish, Rachel. What's this one here? Oh, that's braised pork belly. It's one of those things that seems super hard to make, but it's actually easier than you think. It tastes even better when served with some fresh collard greens on the side. Really? Let me give it a try. Oh wow, this is exceptional. The meat is so tender it practically melts in my mouth. See, Dad? I told you my wife's cooking is truly extraordinary. She's not only skilled at making American dishes, but also excels in preparing Mexican, French, and Italian cuisines with ease. Every day feels like a gourmet dining experience at home. There's truly nothing quite like a well-prepared home-cooked meal. Eating out every day can lead to unhealthy habits and an over-reliance on processed foods, which isn't good for anyone. These side dishes are also fantastic. This wild green is known for its health benefits, like helping to cleanse your arteries. And she's not only talented, but also incredibly thoughtful. Honestly, our daughter-in-law is a real gem. Our son must have done something really special in a past life to deserve such a wonderful partner.
Oh, really? It's just a simple side dish, though.
You're the one who can't even make a decent side dish yourself. You always use strange seasonings that result in something that tastes off. How can anyone enjoy that?
Mom, why don't you help yourself and enjoy the meal? Since you're here, you might as well have as much as you like. I've been bragging so much about the delicious meals I get at home. I didn't realize I hadn't properly prepared for your visit.
Oh, come on. Don't worry about it. I shouldn't put that kind of pressure on my daughter-in-law. Even if we hadn't mentioned us coming over, we would have been happy with just a nice meal out every now and then. If we had given her a little bit of notice, she might have prepared a larger spread for us. I didn't want to cause any extra stress for anyone.
It's really okay, Dad. I'm just glad to see you enjoying the food.
Look at that. Even someone with such impressive cooking skills has such a kind and generous heart. You speak so beautifully and with such grace. I feel terrible for showing up unannounced like this. Your mother-in-law was insistent that we come over and experience your cooking.
Oh, come on. When did I ever say that? Just enjoy the meal.
See? I'm not wrong, am I? People who can't cook well often have a poor attitude as well. It's not just about admitting your lack of skill, but also how you treat others.
Dad, if you enjoyed the pickles, I can pack some for you to take home with you. And Mom, I can prepare some of the spicy cod stew for you to take home as well. Oh, that's not necessary. I don't eat those kinds of foods anymore. I just enjoy coming over here and having a nice meal once in a while. All right, then. My husband likely intended his phone call to be a simple bragging moment, a casual way to boast about my cooking skills, without anticipating any negative fallout. Unfortunately, this seemingly innocent act had unintended consequences. That very weekend, my in-laws appeared at our doorstep completely unexpectedly, and without any prior warning or notice. They arrived with a sense of urgency and a clear expectation that we would immediately serve them a substantial meal. Fortunately, I had been planning ahead and had already prepared a selection of special dishes to mark the weekend, so I was able to put together an impressive spread on relatively short notice. My father-in-law was quite pleased with the meal and seemed genuinely appreciative of the effort. On the other hand, my mother-in-law's reaction was less positive. As she continued to eat, her expression seemed to grow more and more discontented, with every bite visibly reflecting her dissatisfaction. It was clear that her mood was influenced by the comments made by her husband and son earlier. As I tried to navigate the situation, I found myself constantly on edge, trying to read her reactions and maintain a facade of cheerful hospitality, even though it was becoming increasingly difficult and exhausting to keep up the pretense. During the meal, I made several attempts to offer her some of the leftover dishes to take home, thinking it might be a way to improve her mood or show that I cared. However, each time I made an offer, she reacted with irritation and snapped at me, making it clear that she was not interested in any further gestures or offers. This uncomfortable and tense encounter marked the beginning of a new and challenging situation, one where my mother-in-law began making daily, unannounced visits to our home. Rachel, dear! Look who's here! It's your mother-in-law, Susan! I've come by for a visit. Oh, hi, Mom. What a surprise. I didn't expect to see you today. What brings you over here without any prior notice?
Hey, Mom, it's the weekend. I thought you might be relaxing or maybe spending time with friends. What's up?
Oh, I decided to drop by to have a meal with you all. Your father has been going on and on about how I should come over and see what a wonderful cook you are. He's been raving about your cooking skills, so I thought I'd come and learn about it for myself. So what's on the menu today? I'm absolutely famished and curious about what you've got planned for our meal. What are we having for lunch or dinner today? Well, I was thinking of preparing a simple fish stew for today. It's a dish that takes a bit of time to cook properly, but it's quite delicious. The fish stew needs about another 30 minutes or so to be fully ready. What? A fish stew? That sounds like it's taking quite a while. I'm starving here, so could you hurry it up? I was expecting to eat sooner. I understand, Mom.
It's just that the fish stew needs to simmer for the flavors to meld together properly. It really needs about 30 more minutes to be perfect.
What kind of fish stew takes that long? That seems rather excessive for a simple meal. Can't you speed things up a bit? Are you delaying the meal on purpose because you don't want to serve me? I don't understand why it should take so long for a stew to cook.
Mom, it's the weekend and we're having a bit of a later lunch. The fish stew really does need the full cooking time to be done right. And anyway, Rachel is just following the recipe. It's not like she's trying to keep us waiting intentionally.
Even if it's the weekend, are you telling me that cooking a stew takes 30 minutes? I could cook a stew in 10 minutes if I really tried.
Mom, that's not quite how it works. Cooking a stew properly involves simmering, which cannot be rushed. It's the process that gives the dish its rich flavor.
When it comes to cooking, some things just need more time. Even boiling potatoes or sweet potatoes takes longer than 10 minutes. What? Are you implying that your mother doesn't know how to cook properly? Is that what you're saying about my cooking skills? If you don't want to hear any negative comments, then perhaps you should stay quiet or go home. If you want to eat, please sit quietly and let her finish cooking. Oh my goodness. I can't believe how rude you're being. Is this how you treat your mother? This is unacceptable.
I feel like my stress levels are through the roof. It's as if I'm about to explode from the pressure. Huh? Where did it all go? I can't seem to find it.
What are you looking for, honey? What's missing?
Did you possibly finish all the meatballs I made over the weekend? The ones I put in the fridge for us?
Oh, you're talking about the meatballs you made, right?
Yes, the meatballs we had over the weekend. I remember you had some yesterday. Did you end up eating them all? I made a whole batch of them on the weekend, and I placed them in the fridge ready to be cooked whenever we wanted. But now they seem to be gone.
Are you absolutely sure you looked everywhere? There's no other place where they could be hiding.
I'm positive. Our refrigerator isn't that big, so if they're not in there, they must be somewhere else.
Well, considering it's just the two of us, and we don't have anyone else who would be eating them. I mean, they were really delicious, and I did have a few, but...
Where could they possibly have gone? I thought I made enough to last for a while.
Maybe Mom came over and had some too. She's been visiting us almost every day lately, and with all the cooking and activities we've been busy with, it's possible we might have run out without realizing it.
That makes sense. It's just surprising how quickly they disappeared.
I doubt that anyone else took them. It's probably just that we finished them ourselves without noticing.
Yeah, that must be what happened. It's just unexpected to see them gone so quickly. As I kept noticing that the quantity of side dishes in our refrigerator was dwindling rapidly, I found myself increasingly perplexed and concerned. I mean, these weren't just any side dishes. They were the ones I had carefully prepared myself from scratch. I personally went grocery shopping, handpicked each ingredient, and spent hours in the kitchen cooking everything with love and care. I was fully aware of how much food I had originally put away, so watching it vanish at such an alarming rate was deeply troubling. At first, I was inclined to believe Andrew's explanation that the frequent visits from his parents were causing the food to disappear faster than usual. He assured me that since his parents were coming over so often, it was only natural for the food to be consumed more quickly. However, as the days passed, my initial trust in his explanation began to waver. The rate at which the food was vanishing seemed to accelerate, and there were even days where an entire container of food would mysteriously disappear without a trace. What struck me the most was the disappearance of my homemade chili. I typically portion out the chili into smaller containers for daily use and regularly check the larger container to monitor how much is left. Each time I checked it, it appeared that nearly half of the chili had disappeared. Despite this growing concern, I never imagined that someone might be helping themselves to the food I had painstakingly prepared. I mean, who in their right mind would steal homemade chili from someone's refrigerator? We're not living in a time of extreme scarcity where such desperate actions would be considered. It was truly baffling. Oh, I'm really not feeling well today. I think it's best if I stay home and get some rest. I've already informed my workplace about my condition, so I'm taking the day off to recover. Wait a minute. Who could that be?
Is that you, Andrew?
That doesn't sound like his usual way of coming home at all. What's happening? Who could it possibly be? It's hard to see clearly from where I'm hiding. Only Andrew and I have keys to our house. So who else could have access? I'm really scared right now. I'm feeling dizzy and completely overwhelmed. Hello? Is this the police? I really need your help urgently.
Yes, this is the police. How can we assist you?
There's someone in my house. It seems like they're going through our food. Please, I'm terrified and need immediate assistance.
Please try to remain calm. Can you tell me exactly where you are hiding in the house?
I'm currently resting in the bedroom because I'm feeling unwell. The intruder used a key to enter through the front door and is now making their way to the kitchen and the fridge.
They used a key to gain entry? That's very concerning.
Yes, only my husband and I have keys to our house. The intruder is now rummaging through our refrigerator.
We're sending officers to your location right away. In the meantime, stay hidden and do not attempt to confront the intruder. Keep us informed of any developments.
Please hurry. I'm so frightened right now.
Hello, ma'am. Are you all right now? The situation has been handled, and you can safely come out from where you've been hiding.
Thank you so much, officer. I was absolutely terrified, and I feel like I'm still shaking. I've never been this scared before in my life. I'm just so relieved that you're here now.
You did very well by staying hidden and keeping yourself calm. Everything should be resolved now, and it's safe for you to come out.
I really appreciate all your help and the swift response. I didn't know what to do, and it's been a nightmare.
We did apprehend the individual who entered your home, but there seems to be a strange situation. The person is insisting she is not a thief, but rather a family member of the homeowner.
Wait, are you saying the intruder claims to be related to us? This is just unbelievable.
Yes, exactly. Would you like to come and meet this person to sort out the confusion?
Yes, absolutely. I need to see this for myself. Oh, wait. Mom? Rachel! It's me, your mother-in-law. Please tell these officers that I'm just family and not a thief. I can't believe they're not believing me just because I'm saying I'm related to the homeowner.
Is this truly a family matter? Can you confirm if this person is indeed a relative?
Yes, that's my mother-in-law. I couldn't see clearly before, but now I realize it's definitely her. I'm just in shock. Why wouldn't you believe me? I'm the mother of the homeowner. Why would you think I'm a thief? This is ridiculous.
Since this appears to be a family issue, it would be best if you both discuss it privately and try to resolve it among yourselves.
Yes, thank you, officer. I appreciate your help. I'll handle this from here. Oh, my shoulders are killing me! Look at what you've done! This whole mess is because of you! Why did you have to call the police and make a public scene? Now everyone in the neighborhood will know about this. Actually, I have something to say about that, Mom. Why did you come into our house without any warning? Were you the one who's been taking our food all along? Well, if you're saying that I took some food, what's the big deal? It's not like I stole anything valuable. I wouldn't have known anything if I hadn't been home today. Why did you do this? So now you're saying that taking a bit of food is the same as stealing? What kind of complaint is that? How dare you speak to your mother-in-law like that? This is outrageous. Didn't your parents teach you better manners and respect? Mom, seriously. Yes, I took some food. So what? What are you going to do about it? Ever since your father tried the food you made, he's been craving only your dishes. He won't stop talking about how good your cooking is. He's so obsessed with your cooking that he keeps saying I should learn to make dishes like you and stop using my own recipes. Now he's been constantly complaining about how good your cooking is and criticizing my own recipes. Even if that's the case, couldn't you have just asked for some? Was it so difficult to request some side dishes instead of just taking them without asking? Oh, so you think you're so perfect at cooking now? You should have offered to make and give us some of those dishes. Do I have to explicitly ask you to make food for us? Am I a beggar asking for scraps? Seeing how often we're coming over to eat, I thought you'd know to make a little extra and hand it over. This is absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe this. So you're saying I should just be a servant to my in-laws? Is that what you're implying? I've been putting up with being used just for food, and now this has gone too far. And on top of that, you barged in without any notice. What? You really think I'm being treated like a joke here? Yes, I'm starting to see it that way now. I've been trying to be polite and not show how uncomfortable I was, but this has crossed the line. You need to call your son. I'm going back to my parents' house. I don't want anything more to do with a home where intruders break in. I'm going to my parents' house. I'm leaving everything up to your son to sort out. I don't want to be part of this any longer. Can you believe it? The so-called thief that the police caught was actually my mother-in-law. How many daughters-in-law have ever had to deal with such a shocking situation? After our heated argument, I packed a few essentials and headed straight to my parents' house. My husband, upon hearing the urgent news, rushed over as quickly as he could and started begging for forgiveness, trying his best to make things right. Honey, I'm so sorry for everything that's happened. I truly never imagined that my mom would act like this. I'm really sorry, and I hope you can forgive me. Right now, I'm not in the mood to talk to you. I need some space. Just wait until I'm ready to reach out. Please, I'm begging you to talk to me. I'm so sorry for what happened. I never meant for things to get this bad. I know I've made mistakes, and I'm willing to make amends. I'll do anything to make this right. What exactly are you apologizing for? Just thinking about your mother and what happened is making my head spin. I'm beyond frustrated. I need you to just let me have some space right now. Honestly, the issue with the house key, it was actually my doing. I was the one who gave it to her. What? You're saying that you gave her the key? At first, I had no intention of giving her the key, but she kept pestering me for it. Since she was always coming over, I got fed up, and I figured she'd mostly come over when we were home. I thought it would be okay because we'd agreed she'd call ahead. I never imagined she'd start sneaking in like this. So you're telling me that you gave the house key to your mother without consulting me? And you knew she was taking food from our home? You knew everything and didn't say anything? At first, I didn't know, I swear. I didn't have a clue until you mentioned the missing meatballs. I thought maybe she just ate everything because she was really hungry. I didn't expect her to keep doing it so regularly. To me, it seems like you're an accomplice in this whole mess. Do you even know how much I've been struggling with this? Do you know how scared I was when I thought there was a real thief in our house? I can't stand this anymore. I'm so done with all of it. I'm sorry. I'll make sure she apologizes to you. I'll make her admit to everything. I'll make her apologize for taking the food and for sneaking into the house. Please forgive me. I'm begging you. All right then. Go and tell your mom to apologize. Tell her she needs to say sorry for everything she's done. Taking food and breaking into our home. If she doesn't apologize, I'm seriously considering divorce. What? Divorce over this? You're willing to end our marriage over this situation? As soon as you say, just over this, you're proving my point. If you don't want to fix it, then just get out of my way. Okay, I'm sorry, honey. Don't be so angry. Your health still isn't completely back to normal. I'll get my mother to apologize, I promise. Just focus on resting at your parents' house for now. What?
You want me to apologize to my daughter-in-law? That's what you're asking.
Mom, you've done something wrong. Rachel was very shocked and upset by what happened. And you've taken a lot of food over time without permission.
I don't see why I should have to do that. Why should I be forced to apologize? Isn't it a minor issue? Just about some food.
Is that what you really think, Mom? That it's just a trivial matter?
Yes! Nowadays, there are many mothers-in-law who openly demand food from their children's homes. I only took some side dishes quietly. I consider myself a reasonable mother-in-law. Don't you understand that?
Stop talking about how reasonable you are. You didn't ask for permission. You just took what you wanted. And now you're acting like you've done nothing wrong. Dad told me you've been taking food, and you've been saying Rachel has been generous. But seriously, no daughter-in-law gives away half a casserole each time she visits. Who gives away a whole week's worth of side dishes?
How dare you speak to me like that? How can you accuse me of being so terrible?
It's not just about the food. Rachel puts in a lot of effort every weekend. Shopping for groceries, prepping ingredients, cooking all day, sweating over the stove. I help out a bit, but I can't match half of what Rachel does. And you think it's just food? If you want to learn how to make it, why not ask us instead of taking it without asking?
You're calling me a thief!
It's not just about asking for a favor. Rachel will gladly cook something special for you if you asked. But taking without permission and not even apologizing is wrong. And saying it's nothing, that's just insulting.
I said it's not my fault. I didn't mean to upset anyone.
I was going to make you apologize to her, but now I'm really at my limit. Are you refusing to apologize? Are you forcing me to choose between you and my marriage?
Fine! If that's how you feel, then get on with it. I'm not going to be a part of this.
All right, I guess I'm done trying to fix things. I'm stepping away from this.
What? So now my own son is abandoning me. What a mess. Oh, woe is me!
So, let me get this straight. After all this, we still haven't received an apology?
Honey, I can't tell you how truly sorry I am. I never imagined in my wildest dreams that things would turn out like this. Please, understand that I am deeply regretful about everything that happened.
I've reached my breaking point. I don't want to deal with this any longer. Let's just go ahead and get a divorce.
What? Are you seriously saying you want a divorce? Is this really what you want? You're serious about ending our marriage over this? No, I can't handle this. I can't possibly imagine living without you. I can't get divorced from you.
You made a promise. You agreed that if we didn't get an apology from your mother, we'd get a divorce. Do you remember that promise? I'm at the end of my rope here. I can't continue living with your mother always around. I just can't deal with it anymore. If we don't get divorced, we'll be stuck in this situation where we'll keep seeing each other and dealing with these issues daily. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to be in the same house with someone who's acting like a thief, sneaking around.
I'm so sorry. I really don't want to get a divorce. I'll make sure my mom stays away from us permanently. I'll make a point of ensuring she has absolutely no contact with us moving forward. I'll do everything I can to make sure you never have to deal with her again. I promise. How about we consider moving closer to your parents' place? That way she won't be able to come over easily. If we can't stick to this agreement, if this doesn't work out, then fine. We can consider getting a divorce. But I swear, I'll make sure it doesn't come to that.
All right. But I'm holding you to this promise. You'd better follow through this time.
Oh, look at that. Now you're cut off from the delicious meals that your daughter-in-law used to prepare for you. This is absolutely ridiculous. You've managed to completely ruin things by being so obstinate and secretive.
What exactly have I done wrong? What did I do that's so terrible that it justifies this whole situation? Seriously, what did either of us do that's so wrong to warrant this kind of reaction? Seriously, whether it's our son or you, What did I do so wrong?
Because of what you've done, we no longer get to enjoy those wonderful, tasty meals that Rachel used to make for us. You should have just been upfront and asked her if you could have some of the food. What's the big deal about asking for help? Why be so prideful and secretive?
What's this nonsense about pride? Do you really think it's beneath me to ask my daughter-in-law for some cooking tips or to share recipes?
Yes. It would have been better if you just tried to learn how to cook instead of just taking what was given to you. There are plenty of cooking classes and online resources available. You could have learned.
How dare you speak to me like that? I've done nothing wrong here.
I feel like I've sacrificed everything for a wife who can't appreciate or even try to improve her cooking skills.
What? You're threatening to leave me now? Fine. If you want a divorce, let's just go ahead and get it over with. I can't live like this anymore, being ignored and belittled. And what about the cooking? Do I have to do all the cooking while you just sit around?
I'm out working every single day, earning the money. I've done far more cooking and preparing than you ever have. And if I just need to make the food edible, that's all I'm asking. I don't need it to be gourmet.
No, I'm not going to cook if you're not going to appreciate it.
You're not even willing to try. You're giving up without making any effort. Fine, let's get a divorce then. I can't continue living like this. Living with you is either going to give me a heart attack or make me sick. I'm done with this.
What? Just by mentioning divorce, you're seriously considering it?
Yes, let's do it. Let's get a divorce now. It's about time I found some freedom from this oppressive situation.
Wait, dear. Don't do anything rash. So, in the end, my in-laws didn't end up getting a divorce, but they did decide to live separately. They call it a separation, which is a bit different from a formal divorce. Normally, when people choose to live apart, it's expected that the man will struggle with household chores and become quite worn out over time. You know, they say that a man who doesn't know how to cook or take care of a home can quickly become overwhelmed and age much faster than he should. But with my in-laws, it was actually the opposite of what people usually expect. My father-in-law seemed to be rejuvenated by the change. He actually looked healthier and more vibrant after the separation. On the other hand, my mother-in-law, who had always been quite active and involved in family matters, started to look more haggard and worn out. It was almost as if the separation took a physical toll on her instead of my father-in-law. What's even more amusing is that not long after the separation, there was another drama. My father-in-law, who had been getting along relatively well on his own, ended up having a huge blow-up. It turned out that my mother-in-law, who apparently couldn't let go of old habits, started sneaking into my father-in-law's house and stealing his food. She was taking his home-cooked meals, and this really infuriated my father-in-law. He was absolutely furious, saying that he couldn't believe someone would act like that. Instead of asking for food or offering to help cook, my mother-in-law was simply taking it without any permission. My father-in-law was so upset, saying it was beyond unreasonable. He felt that this was just too much, and he couldn't accept it. My mother-in-law's response to this was even more outrageous. She said that she missed the taste of my father-in-law's cooking, which was a strange excuse given the situation. It seemed like she was making light of the whole issue, which only made things worse. Laughably, both my father-in-law and I were left completely exasperated by the situation. It's clear that someone who has spent their whole life benefiting from other people's hard work isn't going to change overnight. My mother-in-law's behavior is unlikely to change, so I've been keeping my distance even more now. It's not that I have a problem with someone not being able to cook. What really concerns me is the attitude of someone who refuses to put in their own effort and instead expects to get things for free from others. That kind of behavior, taking things without permission, can never be justified, no matter the circumstances. Since that incident, my husband has learned a lesson too. Whenever I'm cooking or preparing meals, he now makes an effort to come over, help out, and learn how to cook. It's clear that a healthy relationship requires effort from both sides, not just one person making all the sacrifices. Both partners need to contribute and work together to make things work.
That's where I'll wrap up today's story. If you enjoyed hearing about this, please remember to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. See you next time!